Welcome to Christian Statesman. I'm your host, Zach Wagner, and this is Episode 7, No Peaceful Outcome to the 2020 Election. We sit at the time of this broadcast over 2 weeks beyond Election Day 2020. We have the AP declaring Joe Biden the winner of the election, but we have the Trump campaign alleging widespread fraud and refusing to concede. If we are to report factually, we must say that there is no official winner at this time. At least not until the states certify a winner, and even that process looks murky. What this results in is the unfortunate perception by both camps, the Biden camp and the Trump camp, that their candidate might be the recipient of a raw deal. This does not bode well for a peaceful outcome or a peaceful transition of power. Let's look at the issue from both sides. Biden supporters see a clear victory in the Electoral College as initial vote tallies put him ahead in numerous swing states. The Associated Press has called the race for Biden, and the mainstream media now addresses him as the president-elect. Trump supporters are seeing anecdotal stories of numerous improprieties that are being categorized as fraud in numerous states. And indeed, there are some very interesting statistical anomalies that have occurred in places like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. But there needs to be hard evidence of such doings, and that evidence has to hold sway in court. Trump's team has not presented such evidence en masse to this point, but they're claiming they soon will. So where does that leave us? Let us assume that Biden's current results carry through, and he is inaugurated in January of 2021. Nearly half of the country may feel that the election has been stolen from their candidate by artifice. That does not bode well for any unifying actions behind a Biden presidency. Remember the 4 years of hysterical nonsense we have endured since Trump was elected, with virtually everyone on the left employing every possible strategy to delegitimize his presidency. Since most Trump supporters are conservative, there is little historical precedent to determine what any kinetic reaction from the right might look like. Such possibilities remain a bit obscure. But what happens if the Trump campaign somehow manages to prove fraud on a level sufficient enough to overturn the current election results, tilting the field back in his favor? Trump supporters will rejoice with relief, while Biden supporters will certainly perceive a massive injustice perpetrated on our electoral system and on our country. The press will unite behind Biden and declare a crisis in our democracy. The left will mobilize their numerous on-the-ground surrogates, such as Black Lives Matter and Antifa. We've already seen what levels of trouble this can cause. Imagine a Minneapolis, Portland, or Kenosha event times several hundred. Not exactly the outcome we would want. Either way, we are in for a bumpy ride. Our country does not deserve this. The average American, at least traditionally, has been a middle-of-the-road moderate that leans a little left or a little right. We should allow such fringe elements to define our reaction to these events or not. It is certainly not the Christian thing to do to burn, loot, and destroy if things do not go our way. No matter the result, we should keep in mind that we are all brothers and sisters in the final analysis. To allow ourselves to be divided in contentious ways is the devil's game. A better solution would be to have our country unite and demand a fair and untampered election, let the results turn out how they may. If there was indeed no interference with the election, there should be a peaceful transition of power. If there was interference for the sake of our presidency and for the sake of the future of our country, we'd better get such nonsense worked out, and quickly. Without a clean and fair election, peace will be taken from us, and almost no one will be able to have confidence in the legitimacy of our leadership in the future. Under those circumstances, the forces of division will certainly prevail.